G'day Pittsburgh Steelers fans, g'day Steel Nation Australia. Welcome to another video. This is just something I wanted to bring up in the Steeler Nation Australia, Steeler Nation Universe, Steeler Nation Worldwide, Steeler Nation pretty much everything. For me, I have my own opinion on this, but I just wanted to, question a few things and bring up some topics and really just get around to see where people's heads are at to do with the Steelers franchise, the fandom. How we watch our games, how we enjoy our games, how we support our season. I just find these things, a little bit funny, and sometimes it can be a little bit stressful watching our games, but also it can be a little bit stressful too reading about the comments in every single article you go into. Even my voice here, I'm very thankful to have this little community that I'm starting to build. It's a lot of fun. It's so much fun. Every single live stream that I do, I enjoy, every single minute. We have people come in and they try and call me names and I block them. We have great people from America who come in and say their thoughts. We have other fans come in and say their thoughts. We had a Browns guy yesterday. A Browns guy came into the chat and was really respectful and really cool. I just wanted to, this is really the hot topic. And as the title suggests, is it time to panic in Pittsburgh Steeler land? Is it time to panic in Pittsburgh? Is it now time being 5-5-1? Is it time to panic? My ultimate question and my ultimate view is no, it's not time to panic. But we will get into that, and we'll get into some theories and ideas and different things going on in the Steeler landscape of Pittsburgh history, or even this season, or even some of the players we have. We'll jump into that. We'll jump into some of the, look into the depth chart and see what kind of players we actually have for this 2021 season. For me, I think it's been a better season than last year. Funnily enough, we were 11-0 last year. I just feel like we have a better up and coming team this year, and a lot of injuries are getting in the way. A lot of COVID stuff's getting in the way, and it's still not over. We still have 6 games to go. So, yeah. The question is, and I've been reading a lot around, social media and Facebooks, and look, everyone's got their opinion. That's fine. That's why I also value your opinion and to hear different ideas. It's just interesting how we can, contrast ideas and fix them and fix them together and say, well, Mark, your idea is stupid. You love Tomlin. He's not a coach. He's the worst coach in Steeler history. He's Big Ben's still terrible. Why are you cheering him? Why can't we get rid of these players? Why can't we do this? But for me, if you ask me the question, is it time to panic? I will give you the simple answer of no, it's not. For me, if it's time to panic, the way how I view games and how I watch sport and how I try and support the team or get around them, some can call me crazy and a bit too positive or too optimistic. But pretty much when I watch the sport and I see the Steelers are 5-5-1 and we got 6 games to go, that's still 6 more chances to win. We can end up being 11. We could be 11-5-1, and we could win the division. We could be 10-6-1, and we can get the wild card. We could be 9-6-1 and still get the wild card. I understand we played really bad, and we've let in 82 points over the last 2 games. But what do? For me, you can't dwell on it. You can't sit on that for so long. A lot of fans all this week, and if you want to do this, fine, that's up to you. Fans all this week will be so, shitty and down and pissed off that we didn't play well. But what are you going to do? You can't hold onto that forever. You just can't. It's gonna irk you, and you say, well, it's time to fire Mike Tomlin and get rid of Matt Canada, and it's not going to happen this year. You're better off just trying to ride out the season, see what we can get out of it, try and find some positives, see where Najee is going well in some aspects, see how the O-line is getting better. We are getting rough and tumbled. Sure, we're not being physical enough. I can see all these things. I see what you see too. It's just I try and look at it on a different view, a different, idea. And honestly, I don't want to be stuck. The reason I enjoy this team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and why I made the page and get around the community is because we have a hope and a chance to win every single year. So I'm not going to write that off and be like, okay, the season's done, we're done. Because then I've got to wait for football again. I've got to wait again for 9 months. and this is what I love the most. I gotta wait. I gotta wait again. If I call the season off today and say Tomlin stinks, Big Ben's too old, these things may be factual, right? They could be true. Tomlin could stink. He doesn't do certain. He's maybe a game manager. He doesn't have his plays, or he's not doing his thing. Fair enough. All those things with the fired Tomlin crowd are saying that could be true, right? But I'm not going to wait around and call it off this season and say, oh, I'm done this year, chuck in the towel, throw in the terrible towel, I'm done. There's no point watching the Steelers. I don't get that. I really don't get that as a fan of something. Even to a certain extent, if you're a fan of music, maybe your band brings out a shitty album. I'm still gonna listen to it. I'm still gonna have a few moments to check out the album. You might be critical of it, but they're still your favorite band. So people can be critical of the team. I get that, but at the same time, it's any given Sunday. You still have a chance to win in the National Football League. The Titans are going down. The separation of bad teams and good teams is so small. The Steelers right now are 3 games away from the first seed in the AFC. Think about that. They're 3 games away from the first overall seed in the AFC. Okay, they're 3 games away. The Ravens are number 1 in the AFC. Okay, so things can always get better. That's why I always think. But the biggest thing to wrap this up, and then I've got like a next segment. The next segment we're going to go into the players and have a look who we have. But to wrap it up, basically, I'm not going to throw it away. I've still, in my football passion, thing I love to work with now, and starting to do more videos and talk with you guys more, get around it and really cheer on the team. I'm not going to throw that away. I'm not going to throw that away for 6 games and say, oh, give us the top 10 draft pick next year. They'll be right. They'll be April. I can't do that. Maybe I'm crazy. I just can't wait another 9. What do we have? 9 months until we start again. Can't do it. I'm all in this year. I'm all in. No matter what. If we were going bad and we lose 2 more games in a row, and then we still have a chance for the 7th seed, I'm still all in. I'm still all ready to go for us Steelers to have a chance. And I don't care who plays. I don't care. It's whoever wears the black and gold. And yes, you can say, Big Ben's old. We haven't got Juju. We haven't got a defensive line. We haven't got this. We'll get into that. Okay, we'll get into the actual factual things where we can look at certain things with this roster and say we haven't got the skill or the talent there. And they aren't playing with their heart. They aren't playing with courage. They just aren't playing. They're just not playing good football at the moment. In years past, they have, and maybe we thought, okay, we've been very thankful for that to happen. But yeah, for me, and I could be wrong. I'm telling you, I could be very, very, very wrong. But I don't care. This is the way I support my team. This is the way that I get after it, and I start to do these videos and I have fun talking about it. Is we still have 6 games to go. Okay, 6 games to go. 5-1. We're even right now. Can you get any worse? I don't think you can get any worse. Letting in 500 yards. I think in 500 yards something on defense in like last 2 games, something like that, or over 300 yards rushing. Sure, it's bad. It's really bad. It sucks. It's terrible. It's such a bad feeling. It's not good. The only thing I would say, and before I go into the next segment, you can't dwell on that. You can't dwell and sit in your misery all the time. It will drive you crazy. It will drive you nuts. Okay. Now, if you want to sit in misery and we hopefully you wish for us to lose 6 games, so we go 5-11-1 and we get a better draft pick, and then we have better, we do a rebuild, which I never understand the idea of rebuild, right? Because if you do a rebuild, at some certain point, once you rebuild your roster, it's going to break down again. A circle of life. It's going to happen. You're going to rebuild up. You're going to get a good quarterback. You're going to get a good O-line. And then once you start to get all those pieces, your defense goes away. You haven't got a good defense because the cap, you can't buy every single player. So, rebuild, it's not like that. The rebuild, yes, you can kind of go up and down. It takes 4 or 5 years to get good, but then you got to stay there. Whereas the Steelers have always been good. We've always found a way to win in certain aspects of this team. And then with the football and the NFL, we've always found some way to get it done or be with a chance, with a chance in the dance. Always found some way, and other seasons we lose. But some of us, some fans want us to tank so we get better draft picks. You look at Jacksonville, for example, okay? They tanked. They went 1-15 last year, and they're still terrible. Oh, yeah, but it's a rebuild for Trevor Lawrence or, that guy. I don't care. He's not a good quarterback at the moment. It's not one player is going to come into this organization and fix it. It's a cultural thing, in my opinion. It's a cultural thing that, you got to go into that locker room and your team needs to get together, need to be, more, friendly with each other, more, just start to have conversations and get and come together as one, like be a unit like we did back in the 70s, back in the 80s, back in the, the 2004, 2008, a band of brothers mentality. To me, it isn't one person. So even if we do tank and we lose 6 games, which I don't think they will, one person, whoever we draft, if it's O-line, if it's a unique defensive back, I don't know these players, but if it's someone like that, a great quarterback, they're not going to change that culture. That's very, it's crazy. You look at all the teams, like the Jets have been struggling. The Jets, the Jags, the Lions. These guys have had beyond multiple first-round picks. It comes down to the organization, the coaching, and I guess people would question the coaching. Because right now in the Steelers universe, it really is. Mike Tomlin is good and okay, and the other side is fire Mike Tomlin, he's shithouse. Just, you know what I'm saying? So either way you look at it, I think, you have to get out of that motion of, oh, we suck, we stink, we're terrible, we're done, Mark, don't even talk to me. Why am I even watching this video? You're a clown. There's no point watching the Steelers anymore. We can't do anything. We can't do that. That's not the reason why I watch football. The reason why I watch football is because you have a chance. Every time you turn the television on, you're 0-0, no matter what record you are, you're 0-0, and you hope and you support and you cheer and you go through all the emotions to see what happens with this Steelers team, and you see what happens. I'm not going to go into the Raven game and be like, oh, damn, we stink. We can't run. Oh, we can't use the O-line. Oh, Big Ben's too old. He sucks. Oh, our defense is nothing. Where's Alualu? Where's Tuitt? And Tuitt's having problems. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to turn it on at 8:30 a.m., 0-0, and I'm going to curse out Lamar Jackson saying that he's terrible and that the Ravens stink and that we have a chance to win every single week. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I just find it now, in social media, it's so different. It's so very different to when I was, when everyone was younger, back when we didn't have social media. 2004, 2005, when I started watching 2006, when I was in high school and stuff, you didn't know anything. You didn't know Buckley's about the team. Every week you turned it on and went, okay, I'm following this team because that's who I follow. You didn't know anything. There was no reporters asking about how do you feel you went, Ben? How do you feel, Cameron? How can we get better? There was none of that. It was pretty much you won or you lost. And the next week you played again. So I just don't get it. I understand social media is crazy with all the internet, and I'm on it. I'm on it right now, and you guys are watching it, so I thank you. But it is crazy just to, all this speculation, all these emotions around we suck, we stink, we are terrible, we're the worst, Mark. There's no point. Give up your day job. Stop doing your videos. You suck. I'm just over the constant, maybe negativity all the time. Negativity about this team all the time. It's just anything. If we go on to win 6 games, we go on to go in the playoffs, and we win the Super Bowl. We will win the Super Bowl by 10 points, and there'll be some fans out there that won't be happy. They'll say that wasn't Tomlin, that was Ornaji. That wasn't that wasn't our defense. That was all Cameron Hayward, or we didn't win by 10 points. I just think a lot of times some of the fans, we find ourselves in the situation, we dwell on it too much. We say, oh, we're terrible. We can't do anything. But then what's the point in the rest of the year? What is the point of the rest of the season with 6 games to go. Oh, but Mark, we're versing the leading Titans. We're versing the Ravens coming to our house. They're 8-3. We're versing the Chiefs. They can't be stopped. We're versing the Vikings at home. There's no way we can beat Jordan Berry. He's a punter, by the way. You know Jordan Berry's a punter. Well, we're bringing the Browns again. Oh, we've got the Ravens last. I don't care. Anyone, Big Ben, Najee, whoever, our defense, our offense, if they're turning up on the field and when I wake up at 8:30, 5 a.m. or 12 p.m., if it's 0-0, we have a chance. That's it. And I understand we could be the 32nd in running, or the defense sucks right now. And we do. We're terrible, right? We're not playing good. But there's always a chance to get better. That's what I'm trying to get at. All right, guys, look into the next little bit. We're going to go over in more depth, okay? And this might appeal to some more people. We're going to go over the Pittsburgh Steelers' depth and see what is happening. And obviously that can be more factual than what I've just said about being more emotional and getting behind your team. So let's see who the players are, where we stand right now. Let's see who the players are. Okay, so for this little segment, guys, we're going to go through this Pittsburgh Steelers depth chart on ESPN.com. Now, you can't see my ugly head, but that's okay. We're just going to have the sheet here, and we're going to go through the starter, maybe some of their backups, and just to see where they are, okay, to see exactly where they are, and if we do have a chance. Like, we're still 5-5-1, okay? Now, there is 2 camps right now. There is now we're absolutely done. We are terrible, we suck, and we stink. And the other camp is no sweat. See what happens. Okay, no sweat. But this will paint a better picture. And, my view could be skewed because I think we have a chance no matter what. But let's go through it anyway, okay? So the Pittsburgh Steelers depth chart right now, according to ESPN, Big Ben's our QB starter. Now, there's a lot of queries and questions about that. People want to bench him. I would say to you, if we bench Big Ben, who's going to step up? Okay? If we bench Big Ben, who's going to fill in? It's not Mason. Mason won't cut it. And Dwayne Haskins is unproven, right? So right now, I think you have to go with Big Ben. That's my view. I think Big Ben is to the end. There are people out there saying, Big Ben, retire. Big Ben, give it up, mate. You're too old. I understand. I see that. I know that he's older and slower, but he's still the best chance that gives us the Steelers to win. Okay? So in my view, you keep Big Ben. All right, next. The running back room. Najee Harris, Caitlyn Bellage, Benny Snell, Anthony McFarland. Let's start from the back. Anthony McFarland, we haven't seen him too much. He's been injured pretty much the whole year. Okay? He's been injured or he's been a healthy scratch. He hasn't played. He's still pretty much unproven. Now, what I would say for the coaches to try and change something, to try and do something, you've got to feed him more. You need to feed Anthony McFarland more. You need to feed him, different kinds of screens or end arounds, or just get him involved, get him in open space. He's a really fast player, elusive. He kind of runs like, it looks like when he's running on the field a little bit too fast and he's not going anywhere, but he's pretty quick. You've got to give him a chance, I think, in the next 6 games, McFarland, to be that second or third back. You have to give him carries. It has to come into the game plan at some stage. All right, next. Benny Snell Jr. He's slowly starting to pick it up, but we have seen what we've seen with Benny Snell. He runs and he's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. That's all he does. He runs into the line, falls over, that's it. Benny Snell, though, however, is pretty good on special teams. He does some good things on special teams. He goes okay. He's around the football, gets some tackles. He's one of your leaders on special teams, like Watt is, and we'll get to Watt, which they don't even, actually. That's funny. They don't even mention Derek Watt. Oh, yeah, they do, the fullback. Yeah. So him and Derek Watt also are key special team guys. Next guy, second on the depth chart according to ESPN, Caitlyn Bellage. Okay, Caitlyn Bellage is also a guy that hasn't been doing much. I think this comes down to reps, and it does come down to maybe a bit of the coaching where, yes, you're using Najee 90% of the time, but then the other guys, what are you giving them? Like, 20% of the carries. If I go into the stats, Bellage has 11 carries over 11 games. That's 1 carry per game. Okay. Back to Benny Snell. He has 15 carries. That's terrible. That is crazy. And I would say if change needs to happen, like Mike Tomlin said, you have to involve the second running back, and we just don't have that. Maybe they have got no confidence in Snell or Bellage, but at some point, Bellage has 11 carries, 3.3 average, Snell has 2.9, and Harris has 3.6. You have to involve them in some point to get things moving. 15 carries and 11 carries, that's 26 carries in 11 games. It doesn't cut it, really. That might be part of the problem, really. That could be part of the problem of this Pittsburgh Steelers. We haven't got confidence in our second running back, okay? Now, first, running back Najee. I think Najee has been a superstar throughout the whole 2021 season. Hands down, he's one of the best. He's been doing it all. His stats reflect that. 708 yards, 5 TDs, rushing. And receiving, he's almost our leading receiver. 52. He's second in receiving catches, 52, and 351 yards. Now Najee just hasn't got time behind the O-line. Has got no time behind that O-line. So that's very, very interesting, right? Now let's move on to the receivers. We're going to do this quick, and then we'll do we'll do the offense, defense, and then we'll do our final thoughts. Deontay is playing outstanding. If there's one guy on this Pittsburgh Steelers offense and team who is stepped up from last year, Deontay is your man. Deontay is the guy. He has such good route running ability. He's playing fantastic football. He's giving the Steelers a chance to win, a bit like Big Ben. So we need him to keep going and doing what he does. Next one, Chase Claypool. Yeah, I'm 50-50, man. With Chase Claypool, I'm 50-50 because you saw it last week. There was a mistimed throw. Big Ben could have been at fault as well. I think Big Ben threw it a bad throw, but Chase wasn't on the same page, and there was interception. And then the play after, Chase went and got 40 yards. So, yeah, Chase for me, I don't think he's playing that good of a football than what he was last year. I think he needs like a guy like Juju to help him out. Okay. Next, we have James Washington. Do you hear that? That's quiet. It might not even be James's fault. He's just not getting involved in this offense. James, I like him. I do. I hope he gets some more reps, some more opportunities to catch the ball and get involved in this offense, but quiet. He's just not getting involved for whatever reason. Okay, let's move into some of the other guys on the receiving. You have Mcleod. He's now injured. Or he's on the COVID list. I think he might be coming back. He's also, for me, been pretty average. Okay, let's move on. Anthony Miller, he played one down, I think one catch yesterday, or versus the Bengals. Cody White, very quiet as well. If you head into the tight end, this is where things start to get a bit more factual, and where we might see, Mark, you're in fairyland or dreamland, because we now have Pat Frymouth on the COVID list. No, my apologies, the concussion list. So he might be out this week, and that's a bad time. I see that. I understand that. Behind them, we have Zach Gentry and Kevin Rader, and now we have Eric Ebron. So, yeah, look, this portion of the video, I kind of tend to agree with. We could be in trouble, right? We could be in a lot of trouble where we need to step up and do something, but we haven't got the guys there. No Frymouth, no Eric Ebron. All you're left with now is Zach Gentry, who's just coming out, has caught one pass last year, and he hasn't done too much either. So if Frymouth is out, we are left with two tight ends, Gentry and Rader, who are pretty much unproven. So I understand that. I do understand the other side of it's all doom and gloom, and we suck. We are terrible. Okay, but I'll always be hopeful no matter who plays. But when you look at the roster, going through it right now, I am agreeing with you. It's not a good time, okay? Fullback, Derek Watt. We don't use him. We don't use him in the pass game. We don't use him in the run game. We don't use him. I don't understand. Mike Tomlin said we need change. Why don't we use the heavy set, bring in Gentry, bring in Radar, bring in Zach Banner, and use Derek Watt? You know what I'm saying? Got to use something. Let's move into the O-line. Like I said, with the O-line, I'm not the expert. I'm not the expert on anything. It's just more passion over anything else. But Moore Jr., he's a rookie. Moore Jr. is playing left tackle, and he didn't play very well last week. He's not doing the best. He's learning as we go, but he's a rookie. What do we really expect? We put our hopes up and think, oh, we should be this Pittsburgh Steelers team should be the best one ever. And he's just a rookie. He's playing his best he can. He's protecting the blind side of Big Ben. He gave up a big sack versus the Bengals last week. Had the fumble. He's getting pushed back. There's no real push in the run game as well. He might need help with Kevin Dotson. He's out, right? Kevin Dotson's out too. He plays left guard now. We've got filling in BJ Finney. BJ Finney has always been a backup for the Steelers, and he went away. I think he went away to the Titans or the Bengals. I can't remember where he went exactly, but now he's back. To back up him as well, Joe Haig too. And I won't comment too much because I really don't know too much about these guys, but Joe Haig just seems like a guy as well. Heading into, we have the center, Kendrick Green, right? Another rookie. So what do? We hope for the best, but this is the point where, I do agree with you. This offense is all over the shop. We have no Juju, we have no Frymouth, we have no Ebron. We have limited resources in receiver. We have limited resources in the running back, and we have an old Big Ben. So I can see where you guys are coming from, and we have two rookies on the line, Dan Moore and Kendrick Green, okay? Now, the one bright spark, which I do like, in our right guard, Trey Turner, I think he's starting to play pretty well. I do like his physicality, which I will talk about at the very end. I like the way he's playing physical football. He's a veteran in that group. But you look at the line: Dan Moore Jr. left tackle, left guard BJ Finney, center Kendrick Green, Trey Turner, and Chooks, Okorafor. You wouldn't think that that was going to happen, this year. You wouldn't think that would be our line, okay? We had Pouncey last year. We had a few blokes that, Al Villanueva went away at left tackle. Who's the other guys? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. DeCastro, 66. We had some really veteran guys, some big brutes up front. And now we have a mix and match kind of offensive line that it's not really Steeler. It's not the Steelers' offensive line of years past, is it? And we all know that. So I think you have to go with what we got. With their offense, if you were going to grade it, I think you would grade it a C-. The only real bright parts on offense would be, for me, Najee, Deontay, Frymouth when healthy, and Big Ben when he's playing smart football. Okay. Other than that, I'm with you. I don't know. I don't know where we go with this Steelers team. Okay. I really don't know. I just hope and see what happens every single week. But we are not playing good football on the offense, so I'll give them a -C. Let's go into the defense. This is where it gets really interesting as well, because we have a lot of new faces on defense. We have a lot of injuries on defense, starting with defensive end Chris Wormley, up front Isaiah Buggs and Cameron Hayward. Those three blokes up front, the only guy in my view as a fan who's trying would be Cameron Hayward. He's the only guy that I think is really putting it out there and playing Steeler football. And you guys all know what Steeler football is. So we're not going to go into the X's and O's. I'm just saying, out of these three blokes, he's the best we got there, Cameron Hayward. And you also look at the time too. The reason why we are probably 5-5-1 is the depth. Daniel Archibong, Henry Mondo, Isaiah Loudermilk. He's a rookie, right? Those three guys are depth. Two other guys who probably are depth players. Chris Wormley is a depth guy. Isaiah Buggs isn't cutting it just now. Okay. So the really only standout player out of those six players, and who the one who's making the biggest impact, is Cameron Hayward. He's the only real player doing that. Okay, we have on IR, we have Carlos Davis, he's on IR. Stephon Tuitt, he's on IR too, along with Tyson Alualu. So two big fellas, Alualu and Tuitt, for his own reason, are out. And this is the scenario that we're facing right now. Okay, now this one gets interesting going to the Ravens game as well. TJ Watt has been placed on the COVID protocol list, so he might be out for a week. Okay, Devin Bush, Joe Schobert, and Alex Highsmith. Also, these guys are just feeling like guys right now. We're not playing competitive football. Devin Bush coming off an injury. Joe Schobert looks like he's lost out there. So does Devin Bush. Both these guys look very lost. We haven't got a thumper like Vince Williams back in the day. We haven't got a thumper like Lawrence Timmons. None of those guys. We miss Shazier a lot. Okay, so the linebacker core, sketchy. It does feel very sketchy. I hear it, guys. I really do. TJ Watt out this week, and then everyone's giving up and saying, "Oh no, shit?" Who's going to fill in? Okay, so your fill-ins, we have Taco Charlton, Derek Sutska, Also, these guys just feel like guys. We do have in the whole, Pittsburgh Steelers defense and team, we have a guys that just feel like depth guys. Our injuries and players who didn't come back from last year has really affected us. So that could have been coaching as well. It could have been, the general manager stuffing things up, and this is our season. Okay. So if what's out, we have Taco and Sutska, who haven't really proved anything, haven't done much or any big plays that we've seen as a fan. Marcus Allen plays middle linebacker, but he's not being used either. He's been playing more special teams. UG3 there, haven't seen him. Buddy Johnson, haven't seen him as a rookie. Okay. Now, corners. Joe Hayden was out this week. He's out with a knee. We've missed him dearly. We haven't won a game without him for ages. Okay. Justin Lane, another guy. Okay. Akilla Witherspoon, we got him from a trade or we picked him up. He's a guy. He's another guy that's getting burnt. Okay. So yeah, the more you go through this, I'm not changing my opinion, but I do understand where people are freaking out and thinking, Mark, it's all done. We're never going to win a game because we haven't got the players. We just haven't got any form of players. So we have no Tuitt, no Alualu. That's 2 stars already. If we haven't got TJ Watt for this game, he's gone. We haven't got a Bud Dupree. We have Alex Highsmith, who's in his second year. Devin Bush, and we got Joe Schobert and even Spillane trying to fill in. He's injured. We just haven't got players in certain roles and certain positions to really, push the offense to, scare them and get in their face. We haven't got that. Terrell Edmonds on the safety, right? He's playing good, but he needs people around him. He needs the big stars around him for him to succeed. Minka's playing good as well. However, he's missing a lot of tackles. Holy dooly. Actually, half this defense is missing a lot of tackles, okay? Lastly, Cameron Sutton, James Pierre, and Arthur Millette. Terrible. Every single one of those guys are not playing. They're in their head. They can't cover. The amount of times in the last few weeks that Cameron Sutton, James Pierre, and Arthur Millette missed tackles, missed routes, I'm not a player, but I can see it, mate. You just, boy, you're not playing the way you should. So the defense overall at the moment, I think giving it so many yards, you have to give them a D. You have to give them a D or D minus. They're failing the test. They're not playing the way they should. The only standouts right now, to be very honest, is Cameron Hayward and TJ Watt. That's the only real standouts I see who are being competitive. Cameron Hayward and TJ Watt. And the offenses know this, and they're running away. They're running away from those players. They're not going to what side. They're not going into Cameron Hayward's vicinity. The only standouts are those 2 players and maybe Minka. Okay? So there's a lot of improvement. So I understand what you guys are saying. Okay, let's go on to special teams, and then I'll come back to the main video. Chris Boswell, killing it. He's killing it. Knock on wood, he's doing well. Presley Harvin, he's a rookie. Okay, he's a punter. He's doing okay. Punt return, Ray's out, so we can't really talk about that. And Christian Coonens, he's long snapper. There's nothing else to be said. All right, guys, check in with me for 5 more minutes. We're going to do a wrap-up and just see where we can go from here and analyze, is it time to panic? All right, welcome back, Steeler Nation Australia. Hopefully that wasn't too boring. All I did was just show the Pittsburgh Steelers depth chart, but it was good to see. To go through it and go through some of the names. And I do understand this is on YouTube as well, but sometimes if you guys, if the visual is too boring or whatever, just put me down. And just maybe if you'd like to listen to my voice or listen to my take, it can also be turned into a bit of a more like a podcast in that sense. So enough of that. Anyways, yeah. So let's wrap it up on some things. Okay. As I went through that, Steelers are 5-5-1, and the question is now: is it time to panic? I'll ask you that question again. Is it time to panic for the Pittsburgh Steelers 5-5-1? Now, if you're in the camp of fire Mike Tomlin, this season's over. This is terrible. This is crap. We suck. There's no point even watching the games anymore. I've been a Steeler for 55 years. I can't believe this. I'm throwing in my towel. If you're at that point, well, the question is really redundant, isn't it? If you're at the point where you're throwing your towel and you've been 55 years and all you want is the season to be over, is it time to panic? You probably don't care because you just like, well, we'll just deal with it, right? Just understand that it's time to panic right now then if you understand that you think they're going to go terrible for the next 6 games and they're going to lose every single game, Big Ben's going to throw interceptions and then we can't move the ball, we can't score points. Shoot, we have only scored 13 points in the last 2 games, right? I think it's something like that. No, my apology, but that was only we scored a lot of points, with the Charger game, but still, we've only scored minimal points in the last few games. Okay, so is it time to panic? Really, if you saying the season's over and done, that shouldn't worry you. That shouldn't worry you at all, because if it's time to panic and you think the season's done, then your job's accomplished. You're already finished. You think, okay, we're done. I might check in. I'll check in every now and then and see where we are. But I'll see you guys at the draft. You're getting off your bus stop. You're ready to jump off and say, okay, I'll see you later. That's fair, and that's fine if you want to do that. If you want to jump off the bus and say, well, I'll meet you in Chicago for the draft, and we're gonna go play our games. Do that, okay? But on the other side of the fence, is it time to panic for a person like me who's optimistic about the team and every single time they're on the screen 0-0, I think they have a chance to win? No, it's not. It's not time to panic. There is no way in Pittsburgh Steelers, Earth or whatever, Universal, the Steeler Nation, Australia, Steeler Nation worldwide. There's people from everywhere: Germany, Austria, England, America, Japan, you name it, Mexico. In that universe of the Steeler Nation is worldwide. It's not time to panic. It really isn't, because we are 5-5-1. And throughout the season, we have shown, a glimpse of hope, and there are still things to be thankful for, or maybe to appreciate, and maybe to come up and see what's going to happen with this team. Time to panic would be for me. Actually, no, I would never panic. If I had to answer my own question, is it time to panic? No. Like I even if we were 5-9-1 the last game, I would want to see, okay, who else can we play if we're versing the Ravens and they have a chance to go to the playoffs, let's beat them so they don't get in. It doesn't matter to me. But in the grand scheme of things, for the playoffs now and for a Super Bowl run, we're not thinking about Super Bowl at all. I wouldn't think about that until we started winning 2 or 3, maybe 4, maybe until we got to the playoffs, right? To a certain extent, maybe don't even think about the playoffs right now. Just think about winning your next game. Got to beat Baltimore, got to climb that division, got to work your way and get better as a team on defense and on offense, and all 3 phases. We need the special teams to step it up and get better kick return coverage. Yes, we're getting some punt blocks, but we need some better kick returns and some coverage too. So it's not time to panic, in my view. If you guys take that with a grain of salt, or you say, Mark, you're bloody stupid, it really isn't. We still have 3 division games left. Okay. So the eternal optimist says to me, look, I'm going to cheer the team on versus the Ravens coming in. Look, if I go into it too, the Ravens, right? Lamar Jackson threw 4 interceptions last week. It's not a good side. The Ravens aren't a good side either. Yes, they're winning, and they won 16-10 yesterday, but they're not a good side. Okay, we're not a good side too. So it's going to be a battle of 2 bad sides, and we have no TJ Watt. Well, someone hopefully will step in, like a Taco Charlton or someone. Maybe Jared Sutska pulls something out of thin air and says, let's go. Okay. It's not. It's overall, it is not a time to panic. It's a time to rally behind our team and get behind our team. You don't have to do it as hard as, don't have to be so crazy and be so hyped up where you will get a big letdown. Maybe just go into the game relaxed, chilled out. Oh, we can't do much this season. We'll see what happens. 0-0. And then when things start to fire up, we'll pick you back up on that bus. When you want to come back on the bus, we'll pick you right back up and we'll start going. I'm just saying right now, overall, for my thoughts, if they mean anything, they probably don't, but it's not time to panic. But I would love to know your thoughts, guys. So hopefully you appreciated the video, talking about our Steelers as always. And yeah, I just think 5-5-1, there's still room for improvement. And if we do suck, fair enough. You take that punch to the face and you get on with life, don't you? Life can be hard sometimes, but what isn't hard? What isn't hard is cheering for our Steelers. That's not hard. It's easy. It's super easy. Put the game on, put your jersey on, have a few beverages, have your best football, go to the pub with your mates, go to the bar with your friends, get some friends around for dinner. You put all your stuff on, you cheer for your team. That's not hard. that's the funnest part about being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, is to, celebrate the wins and also ride up and down with the losses. Okay. Life's hard. Life's hard in general. It's been hard for the COVID-19 stuff. If you view it left or right or whatever, the whole thing's been hard. We haven't seen our families. We haven't done anything. I've lost my job and I still can't find work at the moment. But that's on me. Okay. That's me. I don't want any pity. That's on me. That's on me. Okay. Now, these things happen in life, but what isn't hard right now is to cheer our Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not. It isn't hard. We're going to go into the Baltimore Ravens are coming to home. It's a 4 p.m. game. We'll probably get damn Romo that time. Bloody Romo's going to be there. You know what I'm saying? He'll be there. And yeah, all we've got to do is cheer. It's a new game. And even in the Big Ben press conference, yes, he does seem very stale and like, oh yeah, it's just one game. But it is. It's only one game. You can't. Well, we're lucky we're not scoring. They're only 41-10 in one game. Okay, it's only one game. And then if you can pick it up and play again, and if we go out there and win 23 to 17, we get a win. And then we go to Minnesota. And we keep going. We keep learning. We keep building. We keep cheering. It's only one game. So we can't dwell on that. And it is right now. Is it time to panic? Is the season over? Is the season not over? No one really knows the right answer. But what I do know is I'll be here making videos, cheering the Steelers on, sharing stuff on the page, getting around my team, hopefully getting you guys pumped up. That's all I want to try and do is get you guys pumped up and be like, yes, let's go. Come on, get behind Najee, get behind this defense. If TJ Watt's out, next week he'll be back. We'll get behind our Highsmith and Sutsker and Tucker Charlton and Schobert. Get behind the new guys, There is one funny thing, though, before I end this video. I would say as well, I bet you right now there is no jersey that you want to buy besides Najee. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Cameron Hayward. There's not many names on this defense, on this offense where you want to buy their jersey, right? And maybe that's telling. Maybe that's telling that, you have Ben. He's a good jersey to have. He's been a standout for the team. You have Najee, who's a great player. Johnson, who's a great player. You can buy his jersey, right? But other than that, there's no real other person standing out, making the big plays right now. And these things do need to happen. So I was thinking the other day, if I were to buy a jersey on this team, who would I buy? And I couldn't really think of who I would buy besides who I had with Christian Kunitz, but that's a different story. But yeah, who would I buy on this team to support and get around, and who's been that real splash-making play? Maybe TJ Watt, but there's not too many other guys because we have a field of guys. No one's buying Norwood. No one's buying Sutton. No one's going out there. The O-line guys. No one's getting to those guys because we just don't know who they are, and they're still building. They're still learning the Steelers culture. So yeah. Lastly, guys, thank you for coming into or watching this video. It's a long one. It's a long video, so I do appreciate it, and it's very just simple. I was gonna do like some other stuff, make some graphics and stuff, but I thought, nah, we'll just go on and talk. That's all we want to do is talk. So yeah, is it time for the Steelers to panic? Is it time for us to panic? Nah, no way. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that video. I'll see you for the AFC North rundown in the next few days. All right, guys. Thanks. See you later. Here we go, Steelers.